see? I know you guys are kind of tired. Okay. So, first try. Let's just do some practice in conducting, okay? Why don't you guys just do the conducting in both hands? Okay? Simple? Okay. So, one measure after me, and you're gonna do only conducting and listen for the patterns or any rhythms that are lined up, okay? Any question? Okay, so here we go. With conducting?
Yeah, I think when you were doing the 4 against 3,
yeah,
and then that, like without the extra beat, like
yeah,
the one that went over 3 measures.
Yeah,
I think that's the only time my conducting kind of got confused because I was trying to think of it like how I would do it in canon, and then I stopped thinking about my arms.
Was it confusing because was it confusing because the pattern didn't have the last quarter note as a consistent beat, right? So you mean instead of this, right? Yeah. So okay. So now I want you to do the conducting in one hand, okay? Which hand you prefer? Okay, so just do the conducting in one hand, and I want you to try tapping the rhythms on your knee, okay? All right? Everybody clear?
In canon?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah. yeah, obviously. Okay, so one hand conducting, keep the conducting, and the other hand tapping the rhythms, okay? All right, so let's try that. one when we did only the conducting?
Harder.
So how was it, Maggie? How was it for you so we did the conducting first, and just now we did conducting and having the rhythms, right? So using the different hands, but you're basically doing the two different things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So how was it?
I think it was helpful to do the conducting before that,
Yeah.
and then the transition
Okay.
to having it in one hand and then tapping it.
Okay. So when we did the conducting first, you actually got a chance to listen for how the rhythms line up with the beat, right?
Yeah, I think it helped with the off beats especially.
Yeah.
Because usually I struggle with those.
Yeah, and all the other patterns, right? So Molly, how was the conducting this time, and how was especially the pattern for the offbeat kind of sweeping four thing without the quarter?
I think it's just something I should practice.
Yeah. So when you practice, when you guys practice, don't just directly go into the fast tempo and panic, okay? So just get your paper, like the vocab sheet you have, and do the conducting first. And I mean, not just conducting, but when you do conducting, and listen for the rhythms and how they line up, okay? And that will help you. I mean, I actually practice like that. So when I was in this class, like a few years ago. Anyways, so now I want you to stand up. Sorry, you guys are tired. Sorry. Okay, so now keep the conducting in both hands and step the rhythms, okay? Right? So now let's try that. Oh, you're just gonna stand, okay? Not in a circle yet. Looking good. How was it? Compared to the previous one where we did the tapping. Did you like the current one better or the previous one better? Tapping the rhythms or stepping the rhythms?
Stepping. I don't know.
Juliana, how was it for you? Did you like it?
Stepping was better.
Stepping was better. Why was that?
I don't know. I think this way
Yeah.
is like confusing.
Yeah. So when you're tapping the rhythms and doing the conducting, you're doing two different things at once, right? Different hands. But when you're stepping the rhythms, you're doing two different things in a different manner, right? So was it confusing? No, right? How was the three against four pattern, like offbeat?
3 against 4.
3 against 4 without that +1.
4 against
3.
4 against 3, whatever. Yeah. Okay, how was the pattern? Sorry.
Getting funny.
Okay, so is it hard without looking at the sheet? Like organizing the rhythms? when you step, especially the last beat, you guys have some kind of off beats, right?
I think what makes it hard, but you just have to live with it, is that both you and Mr. Swagger, when you play that, you go da 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 ba ba.
Yeah,
da,
I was
da.
okay.
Usually the
intentional.
bass happens in the downbeat.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, I'm sorry if I confuse you guys, but that was kind of my intention to help you to realize the downbeat. Okay, so because sometimes when I just do, it's kind of, you guys will be more confused, I guess. And sometimes when I hear the downbeats, it kind of helps me to reorganize the structure a little bit. So, you want it? Did you like the process? How was it for you?
I think it's getting better.
Getting better? So did you like the previous process, or tapping, or stepping?
I like
Stepping better. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, guys, now let's try the real canon. Okay. Walk in a circle, and keep the conducting going, and let's try it for real. Okay. Remember the patterns and listen for the vocabs. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Gloria, get the names. Okay, so what was the hardest thing for you when you actually did
Still the cross rhythm.
cross rhythms?
I don't know if I'm actually doing it right. I'm just.
Okay, so when you say cross rhythms, you mean this? Okay. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay. What about? Okay, so. Okay, great. Yay. Oh, this is actually better. Okay. Guys, why don't we try this, okay? In a slower tempo. Do you think slower tempo will help you to organize? Yeah, because it's kind of like tempo, right? So why don't we try that, just stepping and conducting in a slower tempo, okay? Got it? Okay, so let's try that. Once more.
it's harder when it's slow.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it helped me
Okay.
because I think Mr. Swigert mentioned this before, but I wasn't really thinking about it until now. That the steps align with 1, then 4, then 2, then
Yes.
3.
Yes. And I don't know if this might help you, but when I practice, while I was preparing for this, do you see that? Oh God. Do you see the very first beat of each measure? So that's the first measure. I mean, first beat of first measure. The second, first beat of second measure. Thank you. It's I mean, we play this for beat, right? Off beats. And the first beat of the last measure, third measure is. So we play, right? So do you see the pattern? The first beat, each measure. So we have. Right? So I don't know if it's the same for me or not, but when I practice this, I realized the pattern here. And when you guys think about this as a whole bunch of chunk of pattern, it will kind of confuse you and like, where am I, right? But when you think about the first beat, when you get lost, you can think, oh, this is the second beat of the pattern, okay?
So if I can piggyback on this, when I was just doing it, I don't get to do cannons as often as I get to play them, so it's fun for me to actually get to do. It's fun! Cannons are fun!
Yay!
I was watching how, again, on the first beat, how the first articulation bounced off the conducting. And my big checkpoint was, am I doing this correct? Is when I was here and I stepped mba.
Yeah.
And as soon as I felt that mba, I knew I was home free. Okay. Now, Molly, notice that that it lines up on 1, 4, 2, or sorry, 3,
and 4. I mean,
and then 2. Okay. 1, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Articulations on the first beat. It's the same thing.
So before we finish, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before we finish, just like 10 more seconds or 20 more seconds.
Yep.
So I just want to give you a tip for practicing that certain pattern, because I mean when you practice or vice versa, it's kind of, I won't say it's simple, but it's fairly easier than this pattern because you have downbeat at the end, right? Or the first beat. But when you have this, it's like really like a like a maze. So when you practice, I want you to think about practice the conducting first, okay? So and think about the rhythms. That's why I gave it downbeat. Okay? Was it better? Clear, right? Yeah. So conducting first, when you practice, not just for canon, it's just for practice. When you practice 16 also, do the conducting straight out first and listen for how the vocab rhythms are lined up, and that will help you in actual performance exam, okay? Any questions? Was it fun? I like canons. Was it fun?
All right, Soo Ji, thanks.
Yeah.